news today with me, Zac Sherman. Stories in the headlines. Montserrat District 10 Representative Yeke Kolubal suspends his membership from the collaborating political parties, alarms over jealousy and envy in their hierarchy. In Bond County, one person is said to be dead as a result of strain disease outbreak in the prison. Collaborating political party terms as unlawful, security brutality against protesters on Thursday. Those plus more package for you on this presentation. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Montserrat County District 10 Representative Yeke Kolubal has officially suspended his membership from the 4 collaborating political parties. Representative Kolubal said the lack of communication and disunity among officials of the CPP as factors behind his suspension. He noted that the leaders of the collaborating political parties are jealous and hateful of each other, something he believes is hampering the collaboration.
In my mind, there's a lot of things lacking that need to be hindered. And I get between now to January. This is my last press conference. Time indefinite until I get ready to come back to the press. When I get back to the press, I will tell you people my next location. And I will do it off fear or favor. My left cannot be threatened. Nothing is being done. Nothing is being heard. I wrote the justice ministry. Nothing is being done. I got recalling. Like Keita said, he and his men, that plateau. The recalling is here. I will share with you people that they will get after me until they get rid of me. I got a recalling. And the recalling is with justice ministry. Nothing has been done. Where is the CPP? Where is the CPP? This is not a threat. I am not nobody. But I need to respect myself and respect my right. And respect the appreciation from the organization that I am a part of. Maybe I'm doing something that the CPP do not like. That is why I have been abandoned. But let me say this. This is not a sign of weakness. I know that the president wants to take away my left. And I'm going to be available. I'm going to be ready. I already got people looking for me. And I will defend myself. I will defend myself. Please be aware, Mr. Minister, I will defend myself. Because all of you people are part of what's going on. We will not sit there in the country go back to war. That is what, Mr. Minister, you want. You want the country to go back to war. Yesterday, we have our CPP lawmakers. Honorable Gweglo is part of the CPP. When we're talking about the rape issue, I wanted to make my input. The speaker did not mean when he raised the motion for the committee to be set. And when the committee was set, they asked for readiness to vote. I raised up my hand. I said, I will be unready to vote. I'm unready to vote. When the speaker asked me to state my unreadiness, I said, I will be ready to vote. If we can include that the justice minister come here to tell us why our citizens were brutalized, our peaceful citizens.
A Dutch medical company has been officially launched in Liberia. Dutch Health Liberia is expected to work with the government of Liberia hospital clinics to provide health facilities and materials across the country. And Jordan Noah has more on this development.
Liberia's health system has been challenged with the lack of quality and affordable healthcare services, provisions, and facilities. As these problems remain obstacles in achieving a robust health system, the government of Liberia has given a green light to Dutch Health Liberia to carry out its operations. The launch of the institution marks another dimensional change for the health sector, which many Liberians believe is a breakthrough, including Assistant Finance Minister for Expenditure, Jeremiah Saki.
A lot of people will have access to good medication. They will have access to quick hospital treatment in terms of providing ambulances As you learn from the program, Zac Sherman has brought more than 10, 15 ambulances in Liberia to make sure patients or people are transported to hospital clinics for immediate treatment. So it's a good idea. I'm so overwhelmed with that.
Liberia will now be among the many countries Dutch Health operates in by providing health materials to hospitals, clinics, health ministries, among others.
We realized that there are so many activities being done, there are so many things to accomplish here in Liberia that we took up the handkerchief and we were pushing the projects and developing the projects which are already there.
As part of their responsibilities in providing health services to militants, Deputy Defense Minister for Administration Tabla Dixon said the establishment of the institution is very welcoming and will help in providing needed medical supplies for the armed forces of Liberia.
We are engaging continuously to see the appropriate solutions that they are offering that we can leverage. So it's a process, and in the very near future we're going to see them. You see, they're already supplying the Ministry of Health, with ambulances, high quality ambulances that are appropriate for our situation, and also ventilators, especially during these times of COVID-19.
But what does this mean for the job market? Francis Nambe is the country director.
The company Dutch Health is a company that they just want to identify what is our problem and they come in to work on our problem. They leave our government to give a chance to operate. For instance, we came in the country to take over the new residential hospital in Carway, to be precise. And the company is giving the government build the hospital, equip it. The construction will take us 2 years.
With the launch of the Dutch Health Liberia, which took place in Sinko, much is now expected for the health sector.
In Bon County, one person is said to have died at the Central Prison after a strange disease outbreak in the prison facility of Bon County. The prison facility currently has over 100 inmates. KMTV's Bon County correspondent provided details earlier today when he spoke to Emmanuel Datomokoli.
Recently, we decided to conduct some level of investigation after it was reported at the Banga Central Prison that there was a strange disease that affecting inmates at the prison facility. So about some 48 hours ago, we started to follow that information, and when we get at the Banga Central Prison, an insider was able to have confirmed that there is actually a strange disease at the facility that has killed at least one person. And yesterday again, I went at the prison facility. One of the prison officers who begged not to be named told me that it is true that there is this disease that is yet to be confirmed. But he said it is a strange disease that is affecting the lives of the prisoners. And he told me that about 20 persons are right now being affected by the strange disease. So I asked him about how did they get to know this strange disease, and he said that what made them to understand that this disease is actually affecting people is when they started to notice the first 5 persons who became paralyzed. They're no longer able to walk, according to him. The Banga Central Prison needs to host about 97 prisoners. But as we speak, an insider has told me that right now the prison hosts 158 prisoners, which is said is overcrowded. So as we speak, the prison facility has 187, that's 57 prisoners.
Emmanuel Datomokoli there with our Bon County correspondent. House Committee on Elections and Inauguration has ended a 2-day public hearing on the election reform law. The hearings was intended to allow the committee to take in suggestions and recommendations in creating a vibrant election law. Here is a report.
The 2 days of public hearings brought together electoral stakeholders to include the National Elections Commission, elections observers, women groupings, as well as youth organizations, among others. The participants were seen debating, sharing ideas, and proffering legal arguments, though the House Standing Committee on Election and Inauguration a way forward in establishing and enacting a vibrant electoral reform law.
Voter registration that is based on the National Biometric Registry System will promote one person, one vote, because we use biometrics to determine uniqueness.
Laws are only good when they are challenged. The code of conduct needs to be looked at when it comes to elections, because currently everybody, the ruling establishment, the opposition establishment, are disobeying the laws.
My people in the rural area, that is information go to them so they can be able that they will know how to mark their date that they want a job and how they will even go to get a registration.
People who sit in the legislature now don't want other people to be accommodated in the legislature, so they have increased the fee or proposing to increase the fee, and or if the intent is to reduce the number of political parties or number of persons participating, then that will be a violation of our principle of democracy, which allows free participation.
This comes years of consultation with local national organizations and citizens across Liberia to allow the legislators enact an inclusive reform law as a means of promoting democracy. The 2 days public hearings were supported by UZ Liberia Accountability Voice Initiative, LAVI. At the hearings, government institutions and non-governmental organizations presented petitions.
The requirement for 30% is considered to be the floor down there, minimum level of inclusion of women. Our organization, All Women Liberia, is hopeful that higher levels of women's inclusion and participation will be achieved in the near future.
At the request of NEC, the data should be updated periodically by the agency of government responsible. B, the time and place to file a complaint for any electoral offense or violations by the Liberians voting in the diaspora should be clearly articulated through a complaint and response channel prescribed by the NEC.
The National Elections Commission, as the leading body for Liberia's elections, made these recommendations.
Changing a legislation is a very serious.
If you're just coming our way, this is a reminder that you are watching News Today on KMTV with me, Zac Sherman. Story still to come. Collaborating political parties terms as unlawful. Security brutality against protesters on Thursday. We'll still have more for you right after this break. Welcome back. This is News Today. The collaborating political parties has termed as unlawful the actions of members of the Joint Security Against Protesters on Thursday. The opposition group said President Weah's refusal to accept the protesters' petition undermines the fight against rape in the country. KMTV's Emmanuel Datomokoli has more.
Barely 24 hours after the much publicized March for Justice Against Rape ended in Monrovia, where state security chased and fired tear gas at protesters, the 4 collaborating political parties have sharply reacted to the police action, describing it as barbaric and unlawful. The CPP says state security acted unprofessional by preventing protesters who are going to exercise their rights guaranteed under Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution.
The police was deployed to prevent the campaigners from exercising their constitutional rights to assemble and petition their government as enshrined in Article 17 of the Liberian Constitution. Media reports have shown that the police acted unlawfully by arresting and brutalizing the campaigners. In some instances,
seizing the personal effects and randomly molesting anyone who wore black. The foregoing circumstances are indicative of continuous well-orchestrated plans by the Weah administration to violate the constitutional rights of peaceful Liberians and patronize lawlessness, as has always been the trademark of his government.
The opposition bloc believes that the persistent refusal of President George Weah to take seized of the petition further undermines the fight against rape, which shows the president's unwillingness to take concrete actions to end the menace.
What is further noteworthy and sad, but perhaps not surprising, is the blatant refusal of our president and self-proclaimed feminist-in-chief to receive the petition of the campaigners despite frantic efforts to meet with him during the first 2 days of the campaign. This is evidence of the government's complicity and lack of commitment to ending the widespread abuse of women, girls, and children in our country.
The CPB also put forth several recommendations to President George Weah with focus to end rape and other forms of violence moving forward to the December polls.
As our country prepares for the special senatorial elections on December 8, 2020, we call on ECOWAS, the AU, and all our international partners to prevail on the Weah administration to ensure that this menace is killed before it further degenerates to serious civil unrest.
As rape cases remain on the surge, it is now a huge task on the government of Liberia to act immediately, as President George Weah has called for a collective and constructive engagement in tackling the pandemic. Emmanuel Tato Mukoli, KMTV News, Monrovia.
Monrovia City Mayor Jefferson Koji has condemned Thursday's police brutality against protesters. Mayor Koji said the security officials or officers should have rather provided safety for the protesters rather than using excessive force. He spoke to protesters and reporters on the grounds of the protest.
First of all, what I want to say, I condemn the first way the police, I condemn the police. We should not beat anyone.
Thank you.
No one should be beaten.
Thank you.
People should be protected.
Thank
so
you.
I think that young people, the only reason is that these people become victims because they have genuine quest. It's not political. This is not political. I have a sister.
Sure.
You may have a daughter.
I got some. I got sisters.
I'm anticipating to have a girl child, so I can be able to protect her. I don't have to see. So we protect our girls. So when you are an advocate for the political persuasion, what you do is that you allow policymakers. The only reason sometimes we resist them, if take example that Jefferson Koji is a member of this government and he engaged in a rape, he's engaged in a rape, and the government is refusing to take action, then we become non-compliant.
I'm not cutting you off.
He says that the president deal with that particular government official.
Thank you, sir.
Will ensure that that person go and facing the law.
As part of the nationwide protest, several kids, particularly girls, on Thursday took the streets in Bon County to protest against the increased wave of rape cases in Liberia. The kids were seen sink down on their stomach after they went to present the petition to local authorities. Our Bon County correspondent provided more details on the situation.
Well, it was actually a peaceful protest here in Banga, where several student groupings, including youth groupings, they gathered yesterday to draw the attention of the Liberian government to the much talked about rape. As you may be aware, and this protest has been taking place across Liberia almost. So several groups from Bon County paraded through the principal streets of Banga and they later proceeded at the Banga administration building, where they petitioned the Liberian government through the office of the county superintendent and the Bond Legislative Caucus. Yesterday, in their petition, they said that they want tougher punishment for perpetrators of rapes here in Liberia. They are saying that when the legislature, the Liberian government as a whole, through the legislature, put or prescribe tougher punishment for rapists here in Liberia. I mean, the issue about rape is going to minimize. So yesterday it was actually peaceful, and they started the march from the Bahafilen field here in Banga. They went at the Banga police station, where they all were able again to have paraded the principal streets, and they later went at the Banga administration building. So in their petition, like I said, they are requesting that the government prescribe tougher punishment. And another recommendation in their petition, why it is true that they were suggesting tougher punishment for rapists, they also outlined some of those punishments. They said that it will be important for at least someone who raped in the country should be given a lifetime sentence, or the person should face what they call castration. The person should be castrated.
What message you want to send out to the president and the lawmakers in Liberia?
Yeah, I want to tell them that they should enforce the law. That anyone who rapes, they should to them. But it should not be a lead punishment, but it should be a punishment that they will never be in their life.
In your mind, what punishment you want?
Well, I want if they rape, they should go in jail for the rest of their life. Because the children will never be.
And of course, we have us live Annelle Cruz, a Liberian based in Canada. She's a survivor of rape and sexual abuses during her childhood days in Liberia. Welcome, Annelle Cruz. This is KMTV.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
All right, it's a great time having you. Now, drive us through. I mean, as a survivor of rape during, what's the trauma you've experienced each day, and what encouraged you to come out and speak about it in your book?
Well, being raped is not a joke. Every day in my life, I live with that fear of not trusting people. And especially when it comes to adults and kids, because of, in my book, I talk about when I was molested as a child in my own parents' house, and my mom didn't know about it, my parents didn't know about it, and things can happen to the children that even the parents can be unaware of because of the adult that is doing it to these kids. And they can be threatened, they can be told not to talk about it, they can be told to keep it as a secret. So I decided to write about my life experience because I believe these things that happen to me are so.
Okay, our general minister said during COVID-19 there is an increase in rape cases because they are vulnerable. And one of your book chapters you spoke about. Are you getting me?
No, like, I didn't get the question.
Okay, like we said, our general minister said during COVID-19, there is an increase in rape cases. And of course, people are vulnerable. And one of your book chapters, you spoke about a haunted house. Where were you sexually molested?
Well, there's always been an increase on rape in Liberia because my grandmother was raped by my grandfather. My mom was raped, by the father of my brother. And I was raped as well. So rape has been an ongoing thing in Liberia. When it happened to a child, a lot of time the family keep it secret. and they forbid you to speak about it. They go against you if you speak about it. So a lot of time, these things are not being known all over the nation because it's being kept secret. But I advise that it's time for people to speak out. And that's why I wrote about my life experience and what happened to me. Because if I don't speak out, I'm not going to encourage other people to have the voice to speak out as well.
Wow. Um, what's your reaction to the last 3 days protest against rape in Liberia?
I was disappointed, to be honest with you. I was disappointed in the police brutality towards the people. I was disappointed in our leadership because as a leader, not just in office, but when you become a leader for a country, you become the parent of that nation. You become the mom and the dad of that nation. So I would have loved to see President George Weah part of the protest to stand up against, or even if he's not at the protest ground, but at least to come on radio and TV and give a message to the nation and a strong message against rape. I would love to see that.
Now, you are kind of a person advocating and, of course, calling for the end towards rape. I mean, do you have any plans to improve those who have been victimized as a result of rape and other sexual-based gender violence issues?
Yes, I do have other plans. Um, I do have a charity that I want to have in Liberia that called Let Us Help You. Let Us Help You is a way to tell people that, you know what, we are here, we want to help you. Also, I'm going to be working with Empowering Liberian. It's a group on Facebook called Empowering Liberian. I'm going to be working along with them. We're going to be raising money to help for medical care for those kids that were raped and need a medical care, to help to provide sex education and, rape and domestic education. So I'm going to be working with them for us to bring help to the people in Nigeria that are victims of these things.
All right, it was a great time having you on our news platform this evening. Hope we can join you whenever we shall have called you.
Thank you so much for having me.
And of course, she's Mistress Anel Cruz, Liberian-based in Canada. Well, minutes before the climax of yesterday's protest, President George Weah, in an exclusive interview with State Radio, called for a collective and constructive fight against rape, adding that the fight against rape should not be politicized.
Those leaders of the protesting of rape, you have the gender minister, they can come to the gender ministry or to the Minister of Justice and ask for a meeting so we can sit down and discuss. Because, again, by law, we're still going to go through the both houses. You still have to go to the legislature. So they can send out within 10 times. I'm concerned about raping. They are concerned. The best way to do it is to get to the law and on rape. Go there and then see how you can talk about it, and we take it serious. And then I'm sure the legislature will do their best, like they did human rights. Today, I saw some people going to the American embassy, and I heard that whether it's true or not, I don't know, that the guys or team from the American embassy came and collected a petition, whether the ambassador was there or not. But if you will accept a team from the American embassy, which is not wrong at all, you understand? And then refuse to accept a team from your government to receive the petition, then you can see that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So you see, Liberians going forward, they need to know that we are all in partnership, whether you are a politician or not. Liberia already passed that era of destruction and wars and disunity and what have you. It's time for us to move forward and do everything with civility. Seriously, let us not be joking. If it's serious, it's serious. Let us not politicize or rape. Rape is a serious issue. I can only again let you know that the president office is open to all Liberians. If those people that petition the government, you can also petition government and take it to the government office and leave your petition there. And I assure your petition will be addressed. So going forward, let us do the right thing so we all can be treated fairly and rightly.
With that development coming from President George, we are on that note, folks. That's how we wrap it up on this presentation. But before we go here, once again, are the headlines. Montserrat County District 10 Representative Yeke Koloba suspends his membership from collaborating political parties, alarms over jealousy and envy in their hurricane. In Bond County, one person is said to be dead as a result of strange disease outbreak in the prison. Collaborating political party terms as unlawful security brutality against protesters on Thursday. Well, thanks for your viewing pleasure. On behalf of the entire management staff of Creative Minds Television, I'm Zac Sherman, telling you a pleasant Friday.